Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, actually tonight, I'm recording a video later, much later than I normally do. Nevertheless, I hope you will still appreciate the content. Still healing my throat, I'm telling you. I guess someone left the comments under, I think, my last video or 2 videos ago, that because of those topics that I am talking about, because of that energy, this will make anyone sick when you are diving deeper into it. So I agree with you with the frequency, that's for sure. But we will not give up. We continue with looking at certain things, but not making ourselves completely go crazy, because we need to have a distance to everything. So today, I would like to address the topic of Iran. Even though I know nothing about Iran, I can still see that there are dots to connect. So we will connect few dots. However, for tomorrow, I'm preparing a video for you that goes more into details. And I think if you have time tomorrow, make sure to check it out. You will probably appreciate that content. Before we start, as always, thank you so much to Fred, Trevor, John, and Acosti for your donations on my PayPal. Very much appreciated, guys. I sincerely mean it. All your support, all your thumbs up, subscription, comments, I very much appreciate. And to everyone who is ordering my product, my book for children, Matilda's and Odo's Adventures. The next books are coming soon, so stay tuned for that as well. Thank you so much for supporting me this way as well, and for joining my Patreon. That is another huge support for me. So let's start with that I don't know much about Iran, because I really know nothing about Iran, except the fact that now Islam is the main regime there. Well, not Islam is the regime, but the one who is the leader is the Islamic leader, and Iran was different before, now is not so good. However, that's also questionable with some people. So let's just put it straight. I don't know much about Iran. But what I do know, that there is a project that is called the Great New Israel Project. So this project, I'm showing you this, this allegedly is the map. And you might think, well, Iran is right here, right? Well, this is part of this project. So the Great New Israel, besides the aspect of Khazaria 2.0, and that is including Ukraine, parts of Russia, and of course Poland too. That's another story, but it's all connected. So remember, the war in Gaza and the war in Ukraine, the same forces behind it. Now, we will go back to this map and Netanyahu confirming the Greater Israel Project. But before we do this, I want to go to first the video that will present to you this person. Let me show you who. This is the Crown Prince, Reza Pahlavi, who is the Crown Prince of Iran. His father was the Shah of Iran. He's in exile. So here he is visiting the wall. You know, the ultimate test, as I say, is the wall. Very, 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 very much pro-Israel. Why this is important? Because he might be very much likely the replacement for the current leader. So let's play this video. Then we go back to the Greater Israel Project and Netanyahu. Let me mute myself first, guys.
You think the Jewish lobby in the United States is too powerful for the interests of Israel?
I'm sorry I didn't mention before I started to play it. The man who's talking, it's his father. So the picture on the top is Shah, is the father. The son, the crown prince, is below. So his son is below.
I think so.
The Star of David and the Lion and Son flying proudly side by side.
Why would the President of the United States pay attention to that lobby?
They are strong.
Strong in what sense?
They are controlling many things.
We just hope that we can liberate ourselves first from the current regime that is anti-Iranian, that is anti-Jewish, anti-Israeli.
Newspapers, medias,
Your Majesty.
banks, finances, and I'm going to stop there.
You think the Jewish lobby in the United States is too powerful for the interests of Israel?
I think so.
All right, so let's read this. Just 3 years before his overthrow, the Shah of Iran, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, so the father, right, gave an interview in which he highlighted the power of the Israeli lobby in the US. This was an unexpected move, given Pahlavi's pragmatic approach to Israel. He viewed the country as a useful ally in the region and maintained semi-secret economic and military cooperation. Nevertheless, there was also criticism from him, especially after the 1967 war between Israel and Egypt, Syria, Jordan, and Iran. Syria, Jordan, and Iran also frequently voted against Israel in the UN. So Iran also frequently voted against Israel in the UN. However, the topic of the Israeli lobby in the US is something that even today, high-level politicians hardly ever speak out about. The Shah's son, who claims the restoration of his dynasty, faces no such a dilemma. He calmly visits Israel, can afford to stand at the Western Wall and speak on Israelis' television. So if he's going to be the replacement, it's all according to the plan of the Great Israel Project. Now let's take a listen to Netanyahu, because this is describing this project anyway, without showing you the map.
Soviet Union. If you take away the Soviet Union and its chief proxy, the PLO, international terrorism would collapse.
Obviously, we'd like to see a regime change, at least I would, in Iran, just as I would like to see in Iraq.
Czechoslovakia and East Germany and Cuba are obviously very important additional proxies.
A third nation, by the way, is Libya as well. Libya is, while no one is watching, under the cloak, is trying very rapidly to build an atomic bomb.
Exporting terrorism not only to every part of the Middle East, but to Venezuela. They're in cahoots with the Maduro regime.
Are there any other nations that you would recommend that the United States launch preemptive attacks upon?
The answer is categorically yes.
If you take away the Soviet Union.
All right, so let's read this post as well. Back in 2002, Netanyahu was publicly asked by the US Congress which countries should be preemptively struck. So, struck in advance by the US military. Moreover, in interviews, the Israeli Prime Minister has openly named those he considers the main threats to both the US and the so-called civilized world. Number one, the Soviet Union. In a 1982 interview, Netanyahu stated that if the USSR disappeared international terrorism would disappear with it. The USSR collapsed 10 years later. Number 2, Palestine. In the same interview, Netanyahu described the PLO, which is Palestine Liberation Organization, as a proxy of the Soviet Union. He continues to challenge the very existence of Palestine, including with US support. Number 3, Czechoslovakia, disintegrated in 1993. Number 4, East Germany became part of West Germany in 1990. Number 5, Cuba still exists and is widely described as a failed state after the collapse of the Soviet Union. Number 6, Iraq. Netanyahu repeatedly called for the overthrow of Saddam Hussein, promising positive, I don't know the word, sorry guys, reverberations in the region. Hussein was removed from power during the 2003 US invasion of Iraq. Hint, hint, World Trade Center. Number 7, Netanyahu's most uncompromising regional rival. A US military intervention is expected in the coming hours or days. Number 8, Libya. Netanyahu portrayed Libya as a threat to Western civilization, claiming it was developing nuclear weapons alongside Iraq and Iran. Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi was overthrown in 2011 following NATO intervention. Number 9. 9 is actually closing the cycle. Yeah, you see, symbolic. Venezuela. Netanyahu labeled Nicolas Maduro an ally of Iran. The country's leader has been captured and flown out of Venezuela after the US carried out a large-scale strike several days ago. So now, we know those plans. We have known them for a while. But now, let's go to this Greater Israel project and the map. First, let me read you this, because Netanyahu actually confirmed that Greater Israel project. So, let me read you this. 1 second, guys. In 2025 and early 2026, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's public alignment with the Greater Israel vision became a central point of regional diplomatic friction. Why is that? So I want to focus on this. On August 12, 2025, during an interview with the Israeli news channel, that is I-24 News, Netanyahu was asked if he subscribed to the vision of Greater Israel. He responded, absolutely, adding that he felt very connected to the idea and considered himself on a historic and spiritual mission. So, you know, this mission comes from Rebbe, right? You know, this is Chabad Lubavitch mission. I don't have to explain on my channel because you know what I'm talking about. So, symbolic gestures, because you're gonna see it. I have a video to show you this. During the same interview, Netanyahu was presented with an amulet. This amulet had a map of the Promised Land, Greater Israel, which he accepted as reflecting his vision. Netanyahu has repeatedly affirmed that Israel must maintain security control over the entire territory west of the Jordan River, a position that explicitly rejects Palestinian sovereignty. So let me play this video for you guys. It's in original language, but there is an English translation, so I'm sure you will be okay with just reading it. Let me take you there. So before I play it, I explain. This is the interview with this Israeli news channel, I-24, whatever the name. And the interviewer is giving a gift actually to his wife, Netanyahu's wife, Sarah. And that gift has a map of Greater Israel. And that's what you're gonna see.
אני מקווה שאני תמיד חזק, אם אתה מתכוון...
ברמה הרוחנית.
ברמה הרוחנית, אתה יודע, כשאתה מגיע למבחנים האלה, אתה שואל תמיד השאלה, מדוע, מה אתה עושה כאן? מה אנחנו עושים כאן? אנחנו כאן בשליחות של דורות. יש דורות של יהודים שחלמו שנגיע לכאן, ויש דורות של יהודים שיבואו אחרינו. אז אתה שואל אם אני מרגיש שאני בשליחות היסטורית ורוחנית, התשובה היא כן.
אני לא רוצה לסבך אותך לסיום עם תיק 6000, אבל...
מה זה?
זה הוויז'ן שלי, זה אחד הדברים שחלמתי עליהם, מפת הארץ המובטחת.
יפה.
הגיע הזמן, קוראים לזה ירושלם. אני לא נותן את זה לך, אני מעניק את זה לך כדי שתיתן את זה לארצך שרה.
תודה רבה.
אתה מתחבר לחזון?
מאוד.
באמת?
מאוד.
בישראל השלמה. תגיד, התחזקת קצת?
So there you have it, everyone. It's independent. He's connected to the vision. I mean, we all know this, don't we? But there is one more question that I wanted to know. Is this Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, or whatever his name is, has anything to do, the Iranian, right? Iranian Crown Prince, anything to do with Chabad Lubavitch? You know, like, this is the main question. Two things. Have you touched the wall, kissed the wall, licked the wall, cry at the wall, like Millet, or do other things at the wall, you know, almost copulate, right, at the wall? And the second question is, so first is the wall. What happened? Did you go to the wall or you didn't? And the second is, how about Chabad Lubavitch? So is there any connection? Well, I just asked AI. Not like AI doesn't lie, but here it says, Reza Pahlavi, Chabad Lubavitch. Reza Pahlavi, so the exiled crown prince of Iran, has historically engaged with the Chabad Lubavitch movement through diplomatic visits and recognition of their humanitarian efforts for Iranian Jews. So this in itself maybe does not confirm, right? I'm going to read a little bit more. But when you think about it, if Netanyahu represents the vision of Chabad Lubavitch and the Rebbe, and the crown prince is close with Netanyahu and the vision of Israel, then of course it's the same, because it's Chabad Lubavitch. So support for Iranian Jewish children, Operation Exodus, I just wonder. Excuse me. The Chabad Lubavitch movement, under the direction of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Menahem Mendel Schneerson, oh my God, the Rebbe, spearheaded Operation Exodus. So you see, the Rebbe started it in 1979. This effort rescued approximately 1,800 Iranian Jewish children following the Islamic Revolution. Reza Pahlavi has acknowledged such efforts by the Jewish community to support those fleeing the regime. So there you have it, everyone. This is a little shorter video. I think, even though I don't know much about Iran, probably some of you also don't know much about Iran, now we know a little bit more about what is the future plan for Iran. With this being said, thank you so much for watching, for hitting thumbs up, subscribing, sharing, leaving the comments down below and letting me know what you think, as well as for your support on PayPal, Patreon, and ordering my book for children right here. And that's all for today, everyone. I see you tomorrow in a longer video. Lots of love, and remember, we are the leading edge, and we are saving humanity, and we can always try to connect the dots. Bye, everyone.